black,
Okay.
like a very small young papaya. It's already ripened now. We've been able to do research on the area.
This is chocolate.
Trees.
Chocolate.
There you are.
Chocolatine.
Chocolatine.
And then it's considered as one of the best plants to be growing in the rainforest because it doesn't require the cutting of the plant, the trees. It can be planted underneath this growth here, and it will do very good. So that's what's gonna make more of it. Hershey has now already an extension in Belize. And they're growing
I
Very
heard
good.
this plant.
tons of chocolate too.
Jackass bitter. What a name.
Jackass bitter. Right. Look at this stuff here. See we call it tres puntas because the three tips of the plant. Turn it around like this, and we call it an alligator paw, mano de lagarto. Jackass bitter contains quinine. Quinine, you use it for malaria disease.
Oh, okay.
You get quinine pills. They sell quinine pills, and it's actually quinine was actually tested first on plants. There is about 15 species of plants in Belize that would have quinine, and this is one of the most famous ones. Jackass bitters. It's related to the sunflower, and it produces lots of blooms. All the seeds spread out around here, and lots of trees come right around. Our local people, they call it jackass bitter because it is really bitter. It would only be a jackass to go ahead and drink some of this stuff. And here we have a cajon tree. The cajon trees are some of the largest palm trees growing in Central America. It turns to be what we would call now an all-purpose plant. There's nuts like these ones here, and it's very, very hard. Now, these palm trees are fast-growing palm trees, which the local people would collect these nuts here, split them, hit them on a hammer, cut them in two, and once they crack them, the little coconut from inside is being grounded, boiled, and let it sit overnight, and then you get a cajon cooking oil. There's a big branch.
The cajon palm nuts. This is an orchid hanging on the hog plum tree.
Well, hog plum trees are being used for heat rashes. They're very good for heat rashes. Find that kids in the dry season they get heat rashes a lot. So we just crush some of the leaves in fresh water and give them a shower with it. That's all they need, and it will take care of them. We would use the oil of the leaves for chicken packs, which whenever kids like 10, 12 years old and they get chicken packs, those marks stays on the body for a long time. So easy, you just crush the leaf in your hand and the oil of it is you rub it on the mark and it'll go away. It's similar to cocoa butter cream. Also, cocoa butter cream comes out of the same chocolate train. One other thing I forgot to mention on this palm trees here. Yesterday, remember the roof that was done at Chunantunich? Being made out of the same leaf. And we would use the roots of the split leaf philodendron. See the roots there? They work as tying wire.
Okay.
The heart of it is also being used for heart of palm. So you would get heart of palm out of a palm tree like this. Very good size heart of palm. It can feed about 10 people. here we have what we call the basket tie. Remember when we were coming up, we saw some people from Belize. We saw some people on the roadside with a bunch of vines. And you said if they were fishing. This is what they had, but look what these people have had to go through.
Yeah.
They have went in the forest, remove all of those, cut the vine, cut all the thorns off, and then they're gonna make baskets out of them, put them to dry. It's a long process. Out of it, they'll get nice little baskets. It's the longest vine growing in Central America, and this is what would make it grow. See the little loops here? This would go up, hook on other branches like this, and he's safe. And then he grips, and goes all the way up. The longest vine recorded is about 1,000 feet long. So they are, but very dangerous as well. To show them, the local people would collect the trumpet tree young leaves, not like this, but the one from the tip of the tree. Normally they just find like a young plant, small plant, and they can collect the leaves from it, boil it, and have it as a constant thing for people who have diabetes. It doesn't heal diabetes. It would control your sugar level in the blood. It's just like the pills that is being
Tree is for diabetes.
Also, one of the things that definitely it would work for is people who have diabetes. If they get injuries, they can get very easily infected. And the best thing to do is get the leaves, young leaves, or the tip of the ones of the plant, bright green ones, and put them on what we call a comal, or wherever you make the tortillas, right over something very warm. Get it warm for a couple minutes, and then it gets very, very soft. Then just squeeze the plant, squeeze the juice out of it, and that is what is being added on the wound. And that's for sure going to avoid infections and could heal the wounds very easily. Same plants are being imported in the United States like this now, but dry. And when they are dry, they're very crispy. For people who want to quit smoking, it's a non-nicotine cigarette. Once all of this is taken out, it's like tobacco. So it's something that's still being used at the moment, but it's a very effective thing. Then here is the one I showed you yesterday, the cecropia tree. Sorry, the hawkspoor tree. We also call it bullhorn occasion, a couple other names. And you can see the little ants traveling in it. Lots of little ants on it. I don't know if you're gonna get those little ones. Anyway, there's some. There's on the tip of every thorn. There is little holes. Yeah. There's the little holes on the tip of the thorn here. See? A little breathing hole there. Now, those are the little ants that could be very bad. But as well, is one of the plants that is one of the best plants to have in the rainforest. It is, the plant does have a symbiotic relationship with the ants. If the ants would abandon the plant would die. For sure. And like how I did mention, it is considered that the bite would burn so similar to the snake bite. Which, this is the same thing we would use out here in the rainforest if we would get a snake bite. There's 59 species of snake, 9 of them are poisonous. And the most dangerous ones would be the fertilans. There's 3 similar fertilans. And it's considered that so far with traditional healers, what we've learned is that what would kill you out here in the rainforest if we get a snake bite is how much you panic. The more you panic, the easier your heart pumps faster the venom close to your heart, and then that's it. Your history. So the best thing to do is try to control the heartbeat. To control the heartbeat, then we take a plant like this, and then we go by person. Let's say myself, I got the snake bite. I would put my hands right around the plant like this, and this is actually a little bit too big. but almost. See?
Uh-huh.
My hands go right around there to the first nut. Go about here.
Uh-huh.
That's an actual good sized plant for me. Then I cut the bark of the tree, just chip it off from here to here. This length is a dosage. You couldn't have much more of it because then you'll have an upper, your heartbeat could go even less than what it normally should go. Once you have that, it brings your heartbeat to just normal beat. The venom doesn't have time to travel. Very easy. Then you go into one of the main roots. There's 5 main roots on every plant. There always be, like, for example, the cecropia tree shows a very good example. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the side and 5 in the center.
Uh-huh.
Either one of them. It doesn't. Then you don't have to go by size. Then you already measured here. So once you cut from there, same size again. You're gonna chew on that bark and drink the juice of it, which will stabilize the venom in one spot. It's a very strong medicine. It stabilizes the venom. That if you're very brave enough to, like, cut nearby the bite, let's say I got the bite here, I find here, I would find here, 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 just zip, the venom would come out in chunks. This is the only way to be safe. But have been able to save a lot of snake bites around the area. The black orchid blooming there. That's probably not the best. Don't have to video that one there. There's one up ahead that you'll probably be able to get a really nice one.
Black orchid.
And here's the bullet tree. It's considered to be one of the hardest wood there is in Central America. We even call it the ironwood. It's a little interesting insect in it.
I told you, no bugs. I see the bugs.
Oh, what is that?
One of the rhino beetles.
Trying to answer.
No.
The
Very
rhino.
unusual one, huh?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Is this like a butterfly or a moth? Or?
No.
No?
It's one of the rhino ones, we call it. See how it has like that.
Like a nose.
Yeah. It's one of those lovely bugs. Many things. Unfortunately, we don't even use it very much. But Costa Rica, Panama, Honduras would still cut the wood. It's a very soft wood. Put a mosquito right on your forehead. Get rid of them. You did put on mosquito repellent, right?
I did.
Okay.
You got any more?
It's gonna kill out those little fungus there. And you have no more problem of fungus in your feet and no more problems of stinky toes. That's gone.
Stinky toes, no more stinky toes.
No more stinky
Now,
toes.
why did it grow like that?
That one there grew like that probably because
There's a tree
about
there?
25 years ago we considered that one of the main things could have done it is heavy storms that made trees fell on it.
Okay.
That could have been the only reason.
Uh-huh.
And it shows there's a scar and deadly medicine there to have. Anyway, it's still being occupied as medicine. On top that it's poisonous, right?
It has
You can
strychnine in it.
Strychnine, you can use it for many things. Liver problems. It could be used for snake bites and fight venom against venom. And actually, many people have been, when they get snake bites from snakes that, let's say, they're not that poisonous, they would go ahead and give them strychnine. Because every snake is poisonous, but they have poison enough for their predator. So, just to make sure, you would make a tea out of it. Which, according to Mayans and according to traditional healers, there's a method of looking at medicinal plants, and here's a very good one. It does show a ribbon here, but it's not the best because many people's probably been pulling on it. But here, see this cross sign on the plant? If you would pull out any plant, you're not going to find very many plants with something like this.
So that means
It's poisonous.
Poison.
And it's medicine as well. definitely. And we call it the sign of cross. Which one of the main things we can recall is that there were 4 cardinal points with the Mayans. They didn't have a, I don't think they considered it a cross, but I don't think they considered it 4 cardinal points. Yet, we've been able to mix both religions, and this cross of sign, the sign of cross, what was introduced to them was like this. The ones they had was like this. And that's how comes many Mayan sites would have twin pyramid complex. North, south, east, and west. Alright? And this is again another method of looking at medicinal plants or something very valuable. So, this immediately, plant like this, they could immediately tell, hey, this is a medicinal plant. There's that cross sign. Then you go around here and try to pull out any plant, and there's branches in a different way. You're not going to find them right across from here. And many people have been healed for liver problems with a plant like this. And especially alcoholic people. They tend to have very easily, they can get liver problems.
That's a big termite.
Yes, there's a big termite.
This is a big termite nest. And this is a black orchid. And with this for a while.
Early 40s, 50s, 1940s, 50s, they collect the seeds and take them to the United States, roast them, right, and then take them to the United States, and you would buy them as a spice, which is good for pumpkin pie and many other things, which the plant does contain novocaine, and that's what you would
Contains
get.
novocaine?
Novocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah, novocaine, and this burial was found. They found a Mayan skeleton on it, which archaeologists are saying it's a high priest out of Xunantunich. It's a very rich guy. He was found with 200 pieces of obsidian. But the unusual thing is that he had lots of jade around his body, his waist belt and knee things. But he had 7 pieces of jade in his teeth, filling. He made the holes in the teeth and then put the pieces of jade in them. All different kinds of jade. I'm pretty sure this guy didn't just go and say, hey, put this in my mouth.
Yeah.
He probably used something like the alpha trace or novocaine. And this is top. If you get a toothache, the first thing you do is take the tip, young leaves, just grab some of that and just chew on it and put it right on the side there. Or just crush it and put it there. And it'll numb the whole of your mouth. No more toothache. It's a very effective thing for we have a rubber tree. Tomorrow we're going to see a very good example of it. But rubber trees are being harvested from very early age as well. And it was being harvested for the natural chewing gum to take back to the United States and including Japan. All this gum is being processed and they used to make tires and all kinds of things out of rubber. And they found they can make synthetic out of it. They never bothered anymore with the product in the rainforest, which is not that bad. They probably were good to learn from plants like this. But rubber trees are still being used at the moment. One of the main countries that are using it, Central American countries, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, that are involved in cattle farming. One of the main things that they've been doing is they've been cutting so much land for cattle farming that your water reservoirs are in the middle of the field, open sun, and the water in the dry season just disappears. Most of it would evaporate. And then they use lots of horses to transport water for these animals and mules. But they were using 55-gallon containers, and these containers, once those big drums, those oil drums, and they rub on those 4 horses, those horses would last 2 months, 3 months, the most. And sometimes they get infected and they're dead animals. And you'll see a lot of those tomorrow retired up on the roadside. They're just, I call them jaguar bait because that's what that's all what they could be around there because they're even abandoned. Now, They are doing the same thing what Chicletos did from the early 40s and 50s. They collect the natural chewing gum. They get a big piece of cloth. So 3 edges, 1, 2, 3, leave one open. This big bag like that. And they take this gum here, boil it, take the cloth and dip it inside the rubber. And out of that they'll make what we call an ulado. It's a big rubber bag. This rubber bag, you could fill it up with water, tie it very good, and it's putting like a tube on the back of a horse. And it can go for miles. And this animal wouldn't get infected. So this is coming back to one of the best products they could have out of rubber. And then you've seen the marimba instrument and the Garcia sisters. So remember the little rubber ball at the tip of the it's the same rubber that's been used for the Mayan football game.
The game, yeah.
And a couple others. The centenary bark, or the negrito tree. It's actually self-explained from what it's been used. But it's a very good plant. Many people have been treated to diarrhea. There's another plant to go for. With this one here, a lot of people have had experiences with it. We call it the give and take tree. We call it the porcupine plant. Because of this one right here. You know, it's full of thorns on them. Now, the plant, it's a very good thing. It's a very good plant. If you get injured with it, let's say sometimes you run by it and accidentally you trip, you get the thorns on you. These thorns easily break in your skin. What you do is, as soon as you get that, you take your machete, just pull it out and chip the tree, just cut on the side, and the sap that's coming out, put it on the wound. It would remove pain and bleeding, like that. That's where it gives and it takes away. Gives you pain, takes away pain.
That's like the termites.
Yeah, termites are troubling on it. Another thing is, they call it escoba. The local people will say escoba because they can collect the leaves, put them together, compress them very well, and then just shave it, and you have a broom out of it. That's where escoba comes from. Now, there is another give and take from it because you can collect the fruits from it. Whenever the tree is ready, it produces lots of fruits. 15, 20 of them is more than enough. They're only about this size. You take them to the riverside and just drop them in the water. As soon as they drop, they go right in, and they come up to surface about this big. They blow up. They would absorb the oxygen out of the water. If there's any fish nearby there, everything has to come up to surface. Spear your fish and you got easy catch.
Cool.
Now, it's a dangerous thing as well. You can't mess with it too much. You can go ahead and collect all the little berries from the water, all the berries out of it. Then cut a young tree. Cut a very young tree, and this is what the leaf would look like. You know, the big leaf here. See how it's very flexy inside it?
Fibrous, yeah.
Fibrous. It would hold oxygen. You cut this, throw it in the water. All the leaves. The water that's coming out of it contains oxygen. The top of the plant. And there's where the plant would be feedback. Another way of looking at it is why Mayans occupy the moon as a very important thing. And this is about a good time. 3 days before full moon is when we collect all the thatch for making houses. But you find that 3 days before full moon, every plant that's around here would release the excess amount of water they got back into the ground. So at that time they're releasing everything. If you would cut the product for your house, then this is dry. You can compress your leaves all together and you make a very nice thatch roof house. And the house would last 20, 30 years, somewhere around there. If you cut it on the wrong date, what's going to happen, this is full of water. You put it on your roof and it's still filtering that water. When the sun gets to it, very hot, it will split it open and the water will go right through it. It's another thing to look at. Very interesting method of Mayan. And there's a lot of things I do know with full moon what to do. Here?
I do not like full moon.
You don't?
No, it makes people go crazy in the hospital.
Oh, but
Ben
in the
Gay,
hospital,
what is
but it's
this?
a beautiful full moon if you're out on a field trip.
What's that, varnish?
Varnish.
Oh, varnish.
Protein copal. And protein copal, you make turpentine out of it.
Oh, okay.
That's what. And this is the same stuff that was born at the top of any Mayan ruin. It's a sacred incense burner.
Uh-huh.
You would collect the sap of the tree,
Need the book stuff.
sap like this, and then just boil it and burn it at the top of the Mayan site. Which protein copal is being used for many things, including the British were able to take it out of the country and make turpentine out of it. It is still traditionally used to burn at homes. If you have newborn babies, you would burn protein copal for 9 days to avoid evil eye or evil spirits. And this is something very strongly respected, and you'll find lots of newborn babies, or sometimes you walk across a village and that smell, you get it, there's a newborn baby, and they're burning protein copal.
Probably good for the lungs
evil
too.
spirits. They would put a little red band on the kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we have had incidents where if you get an evil eye, it would create on the babies a lot of diarrhea. Very strong dehydration.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you find the person who created an evil eye, then the baby will be okay. But if not, you can kill the baby. We have had evidence where lots of doctors try to save the baby, and it's non-stop. Even if they give them drips or anything, the diarrhea is non-stop. And who can create an evil eye? It's someone who has a hangover, someone who has never had a breakfast in the morning, and you see the baby, and
Like you?
let's say like me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I could avoid it. Let's say I see the baby, I say, could I hold your baby? And just hold the baby for a little bit and turn it back to your parents, and you avoid this evil eye immediately. But I go ahead and don't hold the baby. If I had a hangover, it's even worse. I can kill this baby. Give it a couple hours and the diarrhea is going to go on. Non-stop. And doctors have just, they don't believe about it. They don't believe in it. They don't know what evil eye means for them. It's something we respect very much.
With the energy in the body.
Yes. And we've seen, last year I had to pay for a doctor here. But because I created an evil eye on a little baby. And these people were hunting for me. All over. But I'm a tour guide. And then that makes me go everywhere. So the best thing to do is burn protein copal at home, and you'll avoid that. Another thing is that traditional healers would still use it. If you come up and say, I have diarrhea, you have fevers, you have this, you have that, then he doesn't exactly know what to treat you with. Takes a little bit of the protein copal, puts it on your pulse, he has his pulse, and he can actually communicate and tell exactly what he should give you. And very easily treatment he can give you. Because normally you'll confuse him and say, hey, I need this, I need that. Anyway, that's one of the things to look out for. Now here we have a very interesting little friend. Come over.
Okay, what do you got now?
Look at the size of that thing.
Oh, yuck. You don't have to play with it.
No, I'm not going to play with it.
You don't have to play with it.
Can you get him?
Yes.
Alright. This is one of the most amazing spiders because his web would even catch a bat.
Oh, this is the one.
And see that?
Mm-hmm.
Piece of stick and there.
Don't make him mad.
No, I'm not making him mad. I'm just making you out. See him.
I can see him just fine.
Very easily, his net is a very strong net, and he would catch anything. You did get him, right?
Yes.
The kibis vine or the bullhoof vine, this one here goes all the way to the back there. It's a very old plant. It's considered to be about 300 years old. This one plant here. Anyway, you want to see where it goes across, huh? It goes up here, turns around, comes down here, and goes all the way to the back. It's a big vine, but I've tried to show you this one because this is about what someone would need. There's this plant here again. This is only for female.
Uh-huh.
This much. Let's say it's you probably. This is what you will need. No more than this. Your hands would go around it. Then you would cut from one thorn to the other. This much. Chop it up in pieces. Boil it within 5 glasses of drinking water. Out of those 5 glasses, you take 4 glasses of the medicine only. Part of it will sting, so you'll have almost exactly 4 glasses. Separate them, and you will only have 1 glass of the medicine for every 6 months of birth control. It contains cortisone. And cortisone have been used, could be used for a lot of things. What it would do, it would shrink the ovaries for the period of 6 months, unfertile for 6 months. It could be also very dangerous because if you use more than it, it could kill the ovaries for a long time and forget it, no more babies. So it definitely has to be followed as it should be used. If you don't do that, then
Like I mentioned, I have a friend, a man who wants the opposite route. So
I'll show you which one that is. He wants something for impotence.
not more for staying power.
He'll be happy when he knows about it. Okay, and here we have what we call a red gumbo limbo tree. There's another one, 2. There's a much better one there. See that bright red one there?
Yeah.
It's called red gumbo limbo. It's tourist tree. And 100 names.
Gets
for
sunburned.
it. Yeah, see how it peels off. That's the reason it's called the tourist tree. But it's one of the best medicines to have nearby if you're out here in the jungle. It could be used for sunburn and many other things. Remember the grape water vine?
Yeah, yeah.
Here we go. That's the vine. You didn't even see what I cut it. That's the plant to look at. Here, we call this the Spanish elder. And Spanish elder, it grows like bamboo. There's nuts on it. There. Okay? It's considered to be like these joints here, which we would collect bark, roots, and leaves, boil it all together, make a tea out of it. That tea is not to be drank, but to add whenever we have rheumatism and arthritis. This is exactly what it would look like, see? It's not like a bamboo or anything, but it's the best thing to use for rheumatism and arthritis. And here we have wild custard apple. Wild custard apple has been something that we all look out for while it's on season. Excuse me. Which this plant specifically here, whenever growing in a small field, we cut all around it, it would produce some big fruits, which is very, very good to eat, very creamy and sweet. It's like yogurt. It's very good. And many people make even ice cream out of it. Anyway, out in the rainforest like this, the plant doesn't have any chance to be able to bear fruits. He has to keep up with what is growing on top of him. And probably will even die. Which plants like these, you could go ahead and collect 9 leaves out of it for people who have strong fevers. And if you boil it, make a tea out of it 3 times a day, 9 of them. Again, you'll find that many of these things have 9. All consisted with the Mayan religion. You'll find 9, 13, 22, 52. These numbers will always be in terms of medicine as well. Which it's considered that when we had the yellow fever disease in early 40s and 50s, we had a major problem with it, including most of the Mayan mountains. A lot of howler monkeys, spider monkeys, and many other animals died. Monkeys and animals that feed on leaves, especially the ones who manage to get a grip on plants like this, and they feed on it, it strengthens them enough to be able to fight back the bacteria. And that's how comes they survive the yellow fever disease. It's a very good plant to have around. And now people are even growing it as a delicacy. More like a dessert. Here we have the fiddlewood, which the fiddlewood has been used traditionally in Belize for many years, and Mayans as well. You saw yesterday the marimba instrument. This is the wood we would use to make. There's the tree we would cut, put the wood to get dry, and then make that beautiful musical instrument out of something like that. So everything comes out from the rainforest. The rubber tree and this put together, and you make a very good marimba music. Here, another plant we call it the skunk root. Skunk root, many people have witnessed some very unusual incidents with them. Again, here's a method of the plant. See?
Yeah.
Very clearly shown on it. Sitting across on it. Which people sometimes walk by. Don't touch it though.
Okay.
You touch this stuff here, and that smell is on you, man. You can smell this skunk. And people will say, oh my goodness, Lord, there's a skunk around here. And then I would turn around and say, where were you touching? Okay, you touched this plant, this is what you've been touching. Skunk root is very strong. You would have to get tomato sauce to remove it, the smell from it. Other than that, you have no choice. Which it's considered the last of the remedies. As well, it's very good for asthma. Many people have been able to control asthma, you know, by making a tea out of the plant. But it's a very unusual one.
You could stand to collect it.
Another day. Actually, this is a good time.
Oh, it's poison wood, yeah.
Already showing on it.
Don't touch it.
We have the poison wood, the black poison wood. And it's a very good example. Look at the sap coming out. This plant here is our poison. And it's like poison oak, but a little bit stronger than poison oak. You'll find that about this time here. Full moon, 3 days before full moon, it's like any other plant. He has no water, he has sap. So they don't, this one plant don't allow him to release anything in the ground. So what they would do is burst naturally on the side, and that sap comes out, leaks out. Then if you walk by and trip, and you get this stuff on you, that's it, man. This stuff is going to stay on you. You'll go like this for a couple minutes. Give it a couple minutes, and then I give it more than 3-4 minutes, and you can see pieces of your flesh. It's itching, big rashes, and lots of people.
Oh, that's
very, very bad.
rain dripping. I'm going to move over here.
So it's like one of our strong poison ivy.
Super poison ivy.
And you can take care of it very easily, you know. This is contraceptive. You go ahead and just cut this tree here and put it on wherever you got the burn, which this one shows it very well because it leaves those black marks on you. Take the gum limber tree, take the gum from it, put it on you and stabilize it immediately. And you have no more problems. Other than that, you have no choice. Lifespan on a tree like this is about 80 years.
Amazing. Yeah.
And then he would crack in firewood length. So people who go in the jungle really have to know about this stuff here, because sometimes you walk by and say, okay, I'm going to make a campfire. And you come by, oh, easy firewood. You pick it up, it won't burn you. Once you start burning it, you inhale the smoke or it goes into your eyes, you can get...
Yeah, I can blind you.
Yeah, it can put you in lots of trouble.
This is amazing.
There's lots of them blooming.
Oh, black. Look at that.
It's Belize's national flower.
Black orchid.
Here is a good one as well here.
Where's that?
Take the gum limber tree, take the gum from it, put it on you and stabilize it immediately. And you have no more problems. Other than that, you have no choice. Lifespan on a tree like this is about 80 years.
Amazing. Yeah.
And then he would crack in firewood length. So people who go in the jungle really have to know about this stuff here, because sometimes you walk by and say, okay, I'm going to make a campfire. And you come by, oh, easy firewood. You pick it up, it won't burn you. Once you start burning it, you inhale the smoke or it goes into your eyes, you can get...
Yeah, I can blind you.
Yeah, it can put you in lots of trouble.
This is amazing.
There's lots of them blooming.
Oh, black. Look at that.
This Belize's national flower.
Black orchid.
Here's a good one as well here.
Where's that?
Black orchid.
And here, the white ramon tree. White ramon is the one that we saw a lot yesterday at St. Anthony's. It's considered to be the Mayans' first staple food. The seeds of it is what's being crushed, put together, grounded, and you make something similar to corn.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the bread out of it.
Uh-huh.
It's very good for making tortillas and very good. It's considered to be about 5% more nutrient than whole wheat grain. It's very good. Then again, this is what I told you about how the seeds were abandoned in the chultuns and what has taken over the Mayan side. In the dry season, many people in Guatemala and countries that have a lot of problems with water find that their cattle industry, especially dairy cows, you know, they tend to drop the level on milk. And the best thing to do is feed them with the leaves of the tree. They feed them a lot with it and keeps them very strong and good product. Here, again, we call this one of the 12 promising plants. It's still being tested by the New York Botanical Garden, New York Cancer Institute. Again, it's a plant that was being tested in Mexico by Dr. Russell. He came in to try to study the Mayan people, but he did realize that many of the time he spent there, while the men were heading out to their farms, the women would grow these in the back of their house gardens. And then they take the yam like this, chew on it, drink the juice of it. And then he kept on, this is something unusual. So he tried to find it and they said, we can't tell you. Not to be said. Finally he bothered them so much that they said, okay, we're going to tell them. We use this for birth control. Said, but you have to leave. Which is against their religion. Here's just dead end. Not that.
Go ahead at the end.
Little
I'll tell you.
map there that says don't go over the cliff. To be cutting it, and it made a very interesting product, which due to this one plant, we consider that traditional healing wouldn't stop through Central America. Another thing is, because of this one plant, the discovery of many Mayan sites were done, including Tikal. It was discovered due to chicleros. People harvesting natural chewing gum and going farther in the jungle, they would discover places like that. Which this one product, if we collect the gum, we cut all the way to the top, and the natural chewing gum is all being exported to the United States, and we get good gum out of it. Which?
Do you cut the tree and then collect the sap?
Yeah, just like this in a zigzag manner, all the way to the top. It did have to stop because many things were happening unusual with the product. One of the main things is that even when the plant was tested, this gum could only be collected from an individual plant within every 10 years. It's a hardwood. And that's what would create a problem. Again, you'll find that many Mayan sites still have original carved wooden lentils out of chicle tree, including Tikal, Caracol, and a couple Mayan sites that still they have been able to find evidence of wooden carvings but out of this tree. It's a very good plant. There's a little vine there. It's a very young one there, called Contribo vine, and also it's known as duck flower. But Contribo is one of the plants that is still being used up to date all over Belize, and now they're making a lot of different products out of it. But the vine could be cut and boiled and be used for menstruation cramps, female menstruation cramps. They also make a male and female tonic for impotence.
Well, this is the one.
This is the one, right?
Okay.
This is the vine. I'll show you a really good one, and you'll even get to smell it. Local people also, in a couple bars, are still up to this being able to be found. You'll find in a big bottle of drinking alcohol, They take half bottle of drinking alcohol. They take a couple of these roots and stick it in there and let it ferment. When you have a hangovers, you take one little drink and you're ready to go again.
Okay.
Hangover drink.
So it's duck flower, Contriba, Aristolachia tribulata.
Here we have the cotton tree, ceiba, which is the Guatemalan national tree, Mayan sacred tree, and some of you would know it as pepa. And actually the plant would produce pepa. Some big fruits about this big, and the inside is all cotton, which were being used for First and Second World War. Were being used for making life jackets and life preservers out of it. Mayan sacred tree, they believe the plant heads up the branches of it holding the 13 upper worlds. The roots of the tree would head into the 9 underworlds. So it's a sacred tree. Doesn't matter how big the plant is, this is what you will always get out of a plant like this.
Hollow?
Very, very hollow. Full of water. And that's the reason Mayans believe they come traveling into the upper world.
Oh, okay. Sure.
The young plants of it would be very dangerous and unusual. Plants like this. It's the same one. It's the young one. But look up here. When they're young, they're full of thorns. And if you ever get any of these little thorns on you, you'll be sorry, man. This stuff is really bad. But it's this defensive side. That's the way the plant protects themselves from here. This one piece of it, and just rub it and smell it. You know that stuff, right? Come on, you know that stuff. Lemongrass.
Oh.
Here we have what we consider a traditional pillar hut. And pillar huts are very traditional. They have something like a dugout canoe like this. Just a piece of mahogany digged into it and make a hole. And then they would just go ahead and for washing dishes, washing clothes, baby's bath, whatever they need it for. It's an all-purpose thing. Cooking kapal. They would have grinding stones. This could be about 1,500 years old. The mano and the metate. Grinding stone for corn or any other thing they like to use. The boiled their grounded corn, and this is what they call the kamal. We put our tortillas on it and make nice tortillas. They would have gourds like these. And then these are like pumpkin. You cut part of it and let it rot inside or fill it up with water. And it would be able to go bad in. It's like a cooler to keep your tortillas warm in here. There is some K-pucks in here, taken out of the cotton tree a while ago. Another very usual thing you'll find in their homes would be calabash gourds. You've heard about calabash before, right?
Sure.
This is calabash. Some famous singer talks a lot about the calabash.
Yeah.
As far as
Jimmy
I know.
Durante.
Yeah. Here's the calabash, which this could be used for water container. Very good for this, for last month. Yeah, last month I can say. For the beginning of this one here. For the Day of the Dead. For the dead people. They would put food in things like this. Calabash gourds. Now, here's the one I was telling you about. Here's a very mature. This is very mature now. It's a very good, it's a dry vine of the contribute by. Smell it. It's very strong smell, huh?
Mm-hmm.
This is the one for impotent. This is the one for the hangover drink and many other things.
So do they sell this in the gift shop?
Yeah, they do. In tonics too.
Uh-huh.
We'll have to get them one.
Jimmy wants some root. Jimmy, this is for you. This is the root.
This is your root right here. If he finds out how good this is, he'll probably spend for more.
Yeah. Jimmy said, forget the hot sauce, bring me some root. Contrable root.
Okay, well, let's go over and we'll have some time to spend
That's fun.
in the gift shop. That's the first gift shop of medicine. There they have a nice plant over there. Tree of life. You come closer here.
Okay.
The leaves fall apart, and this is what you'll get out of it. One leaf, and it would grow again. More plants would grow from it.
Huh.
Which is very good for bruises and swelling. Let's say you get a bruise on you.
Uh-huh.
You just take one leaf, compress it with a bottle, and it makes it very soft, very tender.
Uh-huh.
Put it on the bruises, and no more bruises. Tree of life. Every little eye that you see on it is what would give you a new plant. Put a little bit of water. Not bad.